90 days from today, your bank account could have a second income stream running quietly in the background. A 2023 Bankrate survey found that 39% of American adults earn money outside their primary job. That's roughly 1 in 3 people quietly stacking a second income while keeping their day job intact. A service-based side income means you sell a skill directly to a client, writing, design, bookkeeping, tutoring, with zero upfront inventory, no warehouse, no supply chain, no minimum order quantities, just your existing knowledge, a laptop, and a client who needs a specific problem solved. The roadmap breaks into 3 phases. Phase 1, a skill audit in week 1. Phase 2, market validation in weeks 2 through 4. Phase 3, first revenue by month 3. Clean on paper, harder in practice. Most people skip straight to picking a side hustle based on what sounds exciting. That's how you end up 3 weeks in, confused, with 0 clients. The skill audit exists to stop that mistake before it costs you time. The skill audit is a 3-column exercise. Column 1, what you already know how to do. Column 2, what you enjoy doing. Column 3, what someone will pay for. The sweet spot where all 3 overlap is your starting point. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You almost certainly undervalue skills you use every day at your job. If you write internal reports, you can write for clients. If you manage spreadsheets, you can do bookkeeping. The skill is already there. Week 1 action. A 20-minute timed exercise. Set a timer. List every task you've been paid to do, every problem someone has asked you to solve, and every tool you use comfortably. Don't filter, just list. You'll sort later. Phase 2 runs from week 2 through week 4. Market validation. It sounds corporate. It isn't. It means finding out whether a real person will pay real money for the skill you just identified. The most effective validation method is direct outreach before you build anything. No website, no logo, no business cards. You send 10 targeted messages to people who might need your skill. Their responses, or their silence, tell you whether the offer is landing or needs to be reframed. That feedback is worth more than any branding asset. Here's the counterintuitive part. Studies on freelance hiring consistently show that buyers decide based on how well an offer matches their specific situation, not on credentials alone. A vague offer, I do writing services, loses to a specific one. I write weekly email newsletters for fitness coaches, even when the writer behind the vague offer is more experienced. Specificity is the competitive advantage at the entry stage. Narrowing your offer feels terrifying. It feels like you're cutting out potential clients. You're not. You're making it dramatically easier for the right client to say yes, because your offer sounds written for their exact situation. A general offer competes with everyone. A specific offer competes with almost no one. Week 2, target. Find 10 potential clients across 3 channels. LinkedIn connections in your industry, Facebook groups where your target client spends time, and your existing network, former colleagues, classmates, neighbors. 10 names. That's the whole task. Your outreach message is 3 sentences. 1, who you are and what you do. 2, a specific observation about their business or situation. 3, a low-stakes question, not a pitch. You're opening a conversation, not closing a sale. When people don't respond, that's data. Not rejection, data. A non-response tells you the framing missed, the channel was wrong, or the timing was off. You adjust one variable and try again. This is the scientific method applied to income. By week 3, your goal is 1 discovery call. A discovery call isn't a sales pitch. It's a structured conversation where you ask questions, listen hard, and find out exactly what problem the potential client needs solved right now. 4 questions separate real clients from tire kickers. What is the problem costing you right now? What have you already tried? What does success look like in 90 days? What's your budget range? 4 questions. Listen more than you talk. Here's where most beginners self-sabotage. They charge too little, thinking low prices attract clients. They don't. Low prices signal low confidence and low quality. Charge what makes you slightly uncomfortable. That number is usually closer to right. Week 4 task, a one-page offer document. Not a website, not a portfolio, one page. It states who you help, what problem you solve, what the deliverable looks like, how long it takes, and what it costs. That's your entire sales asset for now. Month 2 is where the work turns transactional, in the best sense. You follow up on every discovery call within 48 hours. That window is when conversion rates peak because the problem is still fresh in the client's mind. You refine your offer based on what you heard. Then you ask directly for the business. Asking for the business isn't pushy when you've done the discovery work correctly. You already know their problem. You already know their budget. Your proposal is a written summary of the conversation they already had with you. Here's where it gets hard. You have a full-time job. Time is the real constraint, not skill, not market. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the average employed American has roughly 4 hours of discretionary time per weekday. You don't need all 4 hours. You need 90 focused minutes per day. 30 minutes of outreach or client work before the job starts. 60 minutes in the evening. Weekends fill the gaps. That's the whole time budget. Consider a real composite drawn from freelance coaching records. A mid-level marketing coordinator who ran this exact roadmap in 2023. She identified brand identity design as her skill in week 1. She landed her first paid client, a local bakery, in week 11 for $800. The timeline held almost exactly as written. What made the difference was ruthless specificity. She didn't offer general design. She offered brand identity packages for food and beverage businesses under 5 employees. Every outreach message felt personal to the recipient. Responses came faster because the offer described their exact situation, not a generic service category. Remember the 3-column skill audit from week 1. The coordinator's sweet spot sat exactly where design knowledge met genuine enjoyment of food culture and real demand from small restaurants. The audit wasn't busy work. It was the foundation everything else was built on. Month 3 is about delivery and repeatability. You deliver the first project at a level that earns a testimonial. Then you document every step so you can repeat it faster next time. The first client is proof. The process is the asset. One client paying $800 once is a win. That same client on a monthly retainer is a compounding asset. A 2022 Bain & Company analysis found that increasing customer retention by just 5% lifts profits by 25 to 95%, depending on the industry. Converting a one-time project client into a monthly retainer is the fastest version of that math. This roadmap works for writing, bookkeeping, video editing, social media management, tutoring, virtual assistants, and dozens of other skills. The phase structure is universal. Skill audit, market validation, first revenue. The category changes, the sequence doesn't. Here's a number worth sitting with. Nielsen's 2021 Trust in Advertising report found that 92% of consumers trust referrals from people they know, above every other form of marketing. Your first client, delivered well, isn't just one client. They're a referral engine. One satisfied bakery becomes 3 introductions to neighboring restaurants. Service income isn't the destination. It's the on-ramp. A Federal Reserve 2023 report on household finances found that Americans with even one supplemental income source were 31% more likely to hold 3 months of emergency savings. The side hustle funds the buffer. The buffer funds the investment account. The sequence is the strategy. 90 days from today, your bank account could look different. Not because you got lucky, because in week 1 you ran the audit, in weeks 2 through 4 you validated the market, and in month 3 you sent the invoice. The calendar was always the plan.